Alrighty, ladies and gents, welcome. Time to get this show on the road, guys. For one last day for this week. Seeing it is Friday, let's have a good one, guys. Hope you've all had a wonderful week. Without further ado, guys, let's get this show on the road. As always, good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening, no matter where we are around the world. Hope you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, YouTube, smash that like button. TikTok, smash that screen for me. Let's have a good end to the week. It's been, again, a cracking week, all off the back of really one particular day for me. That was Wednesday. I haven't taken 3 trades, but had a fantastic week off the back of, again, just following the plan on that one particular day in the job and the results. So, guys, let's have a look at proceedings moving forward. Looking at the news first to see what in the way of high impact news we do have. So just gonna, yep, so its settings are alright. I've confused myself otherwise. So nothing, we've had some high impact news just recently with the pound. Retail sales came out better than expected. Not sure how it has affected the pound. We'll have a look at that shortly. Moving forward though into MY session, pretty smooth sailing, so should be okay. So for those who are trading into it, not have too much to worry about in way of schedule news, but anything could break, as we all know. So guys, without further ado, once again, if you have charts, questions, or anything like that, so you guys know the drill, send it into the chat. Don't forget to smash that like button, YouTube, and smash that screen, TikTok, and I'll get to your questions and say good day to you all shortly. Without further ado, guys, let's have a look and start with, as we always do, let's start with gold. And starting that weekly time frame, and we are again bullish engulfing once again. Don't have that lower wick. Once again, I've said all the way along, we don't necessarily need it as long as any pullback was met by levels of support, and then we end up pushing back up, creating a higher high, and so on and so forth. And that's what we've done all throughout the week. So off the back of that, unless I do have some sort of catalyst to go against the strength of the current weekly candle, I would prefer to look for buy options on the Friday. So we're obviously strong bullish, currently engulfing that previous candle. Onto the daily time frame, and what we can see is, so structurally we do remain bullish. Interesting though, the previous daily closed back bearish at a level of resistance here to the left, leaving quite a long upper wick. However, if we were to continue bearish, probably not much of a need for us to pull back too far into that previous candle. Now we've popped above the open of it. Would suggest to me that we may as well, along with the weekly candle, be ready to head back up and potentially break the previous daily high and continue further towards that, you know, the resistance higher up. So off the back of that, structurally bullish, current daily forming strong bullish. We'll move on to the 4-hour time frame, see what more we've got on that. And I can tell you, structure, it did flip bearish yesterday, it still remains bearish at this resistance. It did reject yesterday, so we'll just draw that in as we are approaching it right now, not yet tapped in. I'll draw in the most recent support. I mean, it's going to be level just here. We just draw that whole level in for the time being. So we know we're bearish, but again, in the weekly, the daily, we are definitely bullish. On to the 30, looking at the 30-minute time frame and the structure of that particular time frame, we are actually bearish, to be honest, guys. We're bearish so long as we remain below the resistance here after the high. So the back of that, my bias is technically neutral moving forward here today on gold. The higher time frames though suggest we are obviously still in quite a strong uptrend, but the lower time frames are giving me also confirmation that I could potentially look for sell options. So what are my ideas moving forward here today? Well, we are tapping into a little bit of a level of data here, minor resistance to the left hand side. Previous count was a weak M30, so off the back of that, potentially could look for a engulfing M30 candle, or could also look for that minor pause, the minor support to form on the 15, and potentially we could have an early option if this candle does close weak bullish. If that is to be the case, we form minor support after forming once again a bit of resistance. If we were to break that minor support, I feel there's a high probability price could come back down towards that 33.17 sort of region. So let's just draw in some more zones here. 30, we don't have it. 15, We've got that level there. So, all right, sorry guys, just hearing voices in the background. Not sure if being called. Anyway, yeah, they're the most recent levels of support, so they could be levels that we could also look for options to buy it from. So price was to pull back towards that 33.17. I cannot manage to get involved in a potential sell. Could also look for an opportunity to perhaps buy it from above one of those levels again, off the back of the weekly, off the back of the daily candle as well. That would be it for me. Also a valid option to the upside. So neutral bias. I see opportunities in both directions here on gold today. At the minute, I'm just waiting to see how this 15-minute candle closes. If it does close weak bullish, I will in fact look for a potential sell. If we do form weak bullish, gonna break low of that candle. Not as clean on a 30, to be honest. The 30 rather be involved below low of that previous M30, but let's just measure how many pips we have to that particular point. 16. Will there be enough to definitely get to break even? So just gonna mark in that level as well, knowing that if I do get involved in a sell, if it taps into that point, I need to be at break even, because it could bounce. Yeah, we're going against still the momentum on a 30 is still quite bullish. So that's again, so we'll for sure get to break even if it tapped into that point. So now let's use the fib, and we want to see it close below the 0.382. Closes below the 0.382, we could have a valid entry on the following candle as it begins to break below, as long as it has an upper wick. So that's what we're waiting on in 3.5 minutes. Let me quickly look at GJ just to see if there is any opportunities. Surely doesn't look like it. We're just in consolidation, so I'll have a look at GJ properly shortly once we've got potentially the confirmation on gold that we're waiting for. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. If it does, make sure smash that screen on TikTok, YouTube, hit that like button. We'll keep it focused on gold for the time being before I move on to have a look at GJ. So what I'm doing just now is I'm trying to determine what the lowest point of this bullish candle is on my brokerage chart, because the entry could be just a couple pips below the lowest point of that candle. So my broker, it's 33.2860. No, that's the high. 33.2536. So 33.2516. But again, it has to tick the box. 2.5 minutes. So in the meantime, let me say good day to those of you in the chat. YouTube, welcome to the 20 odd of you on stream. 27 of you. Franco, D-Man, Spotlight Stories, Lau, Bartman, and Carl, welcome to you guys. And to the 60 odd of you on TikTok, thank you one and all for joining. To new followers, appreciate it. Don't forget to follow if you've not yet done so. We do this on the daily, Monday to Friday anyway. So 2 minutes left, guys. And once again, if we get the confirmation, I will put the entry up here as soon as I get the confirmation to take it. And if I don't, I'll move on to GJ. Thank you for sharing the live, guys. Those of you who have shared it. D-Man, going to you on TikTok as well. Appreciate it. I think you're on both streams. That's quality, mate. Julian, my best advice for technical analysis. Well, my technical analysis is for me. I mean, so many ways you can skin a cat. Have a watch of a few different ways, you know, work out what resonates more with you, and just practice doing the analysis before anything else. To me, the analysis is the easy part. The most difficult part is waiting, but for me, it's not. But it just requires a lot of patience. For the average person, they don't have the patience to sit and wait for their analysis or plan to play out. So right now, my plan is I want gold to close below this horizontal. There's a reason for that. And if it does, I may look for a sell option. If it doesn't, not interested in the sell option, tell you what, if it closes bullish engulfing, we could also have an option to buy it, to be honest, guys. Has to be engulfing though, because then we're closing above this resistance at the same time. So it looks likely that it's not going to happen for the time being. 20 seconds left. I'm just going to mark in another level here. All right, have we got any margin? 25 pips. All right, so it's not valid, to be honest, in either direction just at the minute. It's closed with pretty much no upper wick as well. So we're now waiting on the 30-minute candle, and we want to see how that closes. If it does close back bearish, then what we're going to have is a 15-minute bearish engulfing candle, and that would be a big catalyst to look for options to sell it. If it begins to break to the upside just now, I'm definitely not interested in looking to buy it. I'd rather wait for a strong confirmation, such as a closure. And even if it closes enough above the high of this bearish candle, could potentially look for a limit order buy off the back of the interruption play, which presented a few times here but would not have been triggered in. So there are a few options, but anyway, let me now move on to GJ, guys. Let's have a look at that. And once again, starting the weekly time frame, and we push deeper on the pullback, creating a lower low within a current weekly candle. But obviously we are now back near the low of the previous weekly. So let's go into the daily, and that previous daily did close back bullish with a long lower wick back into consolidation. Very tricky level that price is at on GJ at the minute. Structurally, it actually does remain bullish, and we are still hovering back above this resistance, so it's a key level. Onto the 4 hour, we are bearish in structure in that particular time frame. Let's just mark in the previous candle's low. Below it, looks like we may have some clean options to the left. That's below the current daily candle's low as well. At that point, looking at on the 4 hour time frame, looks like there could be a high probability of price coming back down towards the weekly low. And we're just going to mark in that low just now as support, and we'll make our way down to the 30. So we know we're bearish on the weekly, bearish on the 4 hour, bullish daily structure, and the 30-minute structure. The way I see it, it's still technically bullish. So therefore, I know it's creating lower highs, lower lows, but the last significant high low in the uptrend was this point here. This is the point where we've had 2 or more consecutive candles pulling back in the opposite direction to the impulse. And at that point, structure was bullish. So therefore, as long as we remain above that point, I deem to be bullish, GJ bullish on the 30-minute time frame. So off the back of that, again, I've got a neutral bias here today on GJ as well. So let me just see if I can adjust these zones a little bit. Not much I can do with that one. Yeah, GJ is a little bit tricky. To be honest, I prefer to sell it in line with the weekly candle. It's much cleaner as well. Within the current daily, we are forming structure to the downside, creating a series of lower highs, lower lows. So now it'll be, for me, a matter of waiting for price to start to pop below 192.825. And that would be an option for me to get involved in some potential sells on GJ. We have rejected most recent minor resistance multiple times formed during the Asian session, wicking up into the minor range above it, only to fail and reject. So if we were to pop below, we could have an option potentially for London Open, guys. Clean traffic to the left. Once again, at that point, daily would also be breaking its own low. So support formed at that level. So GJ not looking that bad, but I would prefer to sell it. So there we go. That's both gold and GJ. Gold pushing still to the upside. Hopefully some of you are somehow in the move from earlier today. Well done if you are. $2. G'day to you. Welcome. Raffillo. Hello to you. All right. Let me skim through the rest of the TikTok chat. I know I may have missed some questions and some comments. Narendra, good morning to you. Okay, looking to get in sell. Potentially on GJ. Look, gold. I To be honest, I think there's options to either side. Just where we're at, I would preference a sell. Actually, it's a tricky one because they'll be going against the strength of the weekly, which is very risky at this point in time. But I just see the sell opportunity probably more likely and closer to eventuating than the buy opportunity at the minute. The preference for the buys would be the pullback to 15-minute levels of support here around that 33.17 or 33.13. But what I can do is mark in this support as well on the 15, and potentially if we start to once again close below, pop below that point there, as long as we close back at 30 bearish candle, then I could also look for options to sell it. Yeah, would prefer the 30, but we may not necessarily need it. We just need to wait and see. D-man, both streams, yeah, I appreciate it, mate. Really do. That's quality, mate. It's class. C-Mit's Wizzy Splash King. The streaming is poor. I can't learn. Nothing to put up the screen. No idea what you're talking about. If you want the full screen, you have to jump across to YouTube, mate. I don't want to get a ban. If I show numbers there on TikTok, the bot doesn't like it. And you get a ban. Ren UJ. Don't worry, I'll put when I take a trade, I promise you guys I'll put it up there. I'll tell you the entry levels and everything. UJ currently at a level from yesterday. Let me just quickly remove that. Have a look at the weekly. So off the back of that strong bearish candle, I'd be more likely to look for options to sell it unless there is maybe a catalyst such as the 30-minute structure being bullish. Daily structure is technically still nice bullish. Weak closure on a previous bullish daily candle. So if we were to break the low of it, good chance we're heading down to 142.40. If we break the high of it, then good chance we could make once again a deeper pullback and confirm that higher low. 4-hour structure is bearish. Heading back towards the support. Doesn't look that clean in all honesty though. But anyway, let's mark in some levels. To the downside, we'll use this bearish wick and we'll just adjust it accordingly on the 30. Alright, so I'll just do that. 30-minute structure is also technically bearish. So yeah, I would prefer to sell it. Now, options would be below this support, which lines up with the current daily low, basically. So if we begin to pop below the support here, just below the current daily low, 143.30, then there could be options to take it back down towards 143 flat. So I'd be looking at the sells below that point there. Good thing is it has exhausted a little bit. So it's not like it's just come from the high of the day. It has triggered in some buys. So if it was to wipe those buyers out just now and begin to pop below, preferably close below at 143.30, I feel there's going to be some nice options to take it back down towards the weekly low. Aside from that, I'd be looking for, again, pullbacks to sell it. It's off the back of the strength of the weekly, off the back of the bias, which is bearish. So 143.650, anywhere below it, I'd rather sell it. Or even up at the 4-hour resistance, it's still going to be technically bearish in a 30. At this point, until above 144.10 roughly, so fair way off. That would be my opinion of it. Back to gold. All right. House of Glass. I want it to hit 33.46 for my TPs from last night. Yeah, good chance it could. DJ and UJ been good to me this week. Don't usually look at GJ, but getting interested. Yeah, fair enough. Moves a bit quicker for the most part. P43 M triple Z Euro CAD. Used to love EuroCAD, but not trade it for ages. I'll quickly do it. I want to keep an eye on gold and GJ for session open as well. Weekly, so it's a weak bullish candle, has a higher low, higher high to the previous. Daily, very ugly. Shocking. This is really ugly price action, to be honest. Structure wise, I would still deem it to be bullish, but obviously if the backlash strength of the previous daily candle, looks like there are, well, definitely on that candle, sellers present. Current candle doesn't have much of a low wick, so we'll just mark that in. Let's also mark in the current candle's high low. So if we have what sort of traffic we have above it, the 4 hour. Yeah, it looks like there could be maybe a bit of margin to the upside once it begins to break the daily high. Structurally, it is actually bearish. Just mark in that as the most recent support. Resistance, far off it, I won't bother. I'll wait till we go down to the 30. 30 is also bearish. So, yeah, it's a mixed buy set again. Alright, so I'd be looking for options to buy it above this resistance. We've rejected multiple times now. Creating higher lows as we approach the resistance. Once again, though, rejected. So if we do, once again, platform support, either at the current level or lower down around the daily low, then I would look for buy options above 156.60. As far as the sells, I just don't see any clean areas to sell it from unless it pops back up towards that 156.850 and rejects that point there for a sell. Otherwise, yeah, even on continuation, you've got these wicks here to the left. So options would be, because it's a neutral bias again, a bit of a mixed bias, let it come down, tap into that 4 hour level and provide a price action signal from that point. Maybe a bit of consolidation as price begins to pull away from the consolidation. Bit of a potential option to buy it. Otherwise, buys above that 1.5660 roughly, and sells on a deeper pullback towards 156.80, 850. Back to gold. Closes like this, there's definitely no option. All right, what we're going to do is we'll set an alert on GJ, so we can just keep the chart on gold for the time being. Let's remove these levels that were miles off for the time being, and that's it. Spotlight stories, what leverage should I use? 1 to 30, that's all we've got here in Australia, mate. That's more than enough, to be honest. Cheese Mobile went to sell, not yet. 7 Stars Apparel, I blew 200k evals today on gold. Yeah, you gotta be careful, mate. You gotta have, again, especially when you're trading the prop firm challenges and that, you really have to have a strict rule set. Yeah, I mean, you gotta know exactly how much you're risking per trade, and obviously with those challenges, you've got, what is it, max daily drawdown, max total accumulated drawdown as well. So Narinja, yesterday was a great sell option, made good bag, nice one. Yeah, I didn't spend much time on the charts yesterday after the stream. I jumped on for about an hour with my team. About an hour or so after the stream, not much was happening. Did some analysis, had a chat. Wasn't sticking around for NY session yesterday. Again, in my opinion, less is more in this industry. You trade, maybe split it between 2 sessions if you like, a couple hours each. I wouldn't want to really sit in front of the charts for more than 2 to 2.5 hours at a time. To be honest, of a day, it's usually a max 3 to 4 hours for me. House of Glass, gold needs to hit my TP, then come down. Yeah, I mean, good chance it still will. But I mean, irrespective, have a plan, mate. Hopefully you're managing your trade. Let's just have a look at things now again. So the 30 is closing with a bit of volume. We're closing above this resistance. We have had a pause. What sort of margin is there now above this candle's high? 13 pips, not a great deal. Alright guys, I'm not taking anything just yet, but I'm just watching things for a little bit. I'll let you know ASAP if I'm considering something. Want this count to really just pop up. Oh, it's popped down first. Alright, it's popped up a little bit, but now it's popping down. Yeah, off the back of that, I'm not ready to just take an entry. Reason being is because the stop loss is going to be way too wide for the potential return. You've got that resistance there, which is 13 pips above this candle's high, so 11 roughly once you're counting for spread. I would have wanted to get in perhaps a little bit earlier. Not quite tapped into that pause candle as well, so just have to wait. Guys, just give me 1 second. Sorry, I've got a phone call I need to answer. Hey. What? Alright, apologies guys. Alright, so that's okay. Look, glad I didn't jump into anything just then, because you'd be now stuck in some significant drawdown without going near real TP, so... GJ still respecting support. We still could get the option on GJ, so it's something to keep an eye on. And we still could get rejection here on gold, so... Still could get opportunities, guys. P43M Triple Z, I did have a look at it for you. I'm not sure if you were paying attention when I did. Join your video, Pete. Looking forward to learning from you. Oh, okay, is this Adam? I know someone contacted me in the DM me anyway on TikTok, but I thought it was a different profile. But nonetheless, welcome to the teammate. Looking forward to you know, helping you out. Because you new, should we sell? Not just yet, mate. Yep, Dogen, not yet. Yep. You don't take a position on gold, or you just look. Nah, there's no position to take. I will take one if there is one to take, but there isn't for me. There's nothing that's ticked the box, so right now I'm not taking nothing. I'm just chilling. My members, let me share a link with you if you wish to join. Apologies. And to my guys as well, there will be a session, a small session, just a little get together accountability session Friday, straight after the stream as well. So actually, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, to be honest. Yeah, so I'm looking at gold potential for sells below this support potential. Would definitely prefer a 30-minute candle closing back bearish though, but I will, however, consider it the back of the 15. But the way you got to look at it, the momentum to the upside on these bullish M30 candles is quite strong. The previous candle was, again, quite a strong body candle, so it suggests to me that maybe the momentum is still there to the upside at the minute, so we probably need to wait for a stronger catalyst. But one thing you will have, you've already just got it on the 15 by the looks of it, you've got a liquidity candle, so it's broken the high, had a higher low, higher high, it's now gone on to break the low of the previous candle. Back of that, there'd be a high probability price could come down. It could do the same thing here on a 30. So that would be a very, very, very risky entry against the 30-minute candles right now. So I'm more concerned by this support here. See how price reacts to 33, 25, 50 roughly. Franco,
Hey,
GJ, so good. How are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Yep, all good. So the GJ sells, yeah,
before,
still.
Yeah, it was before
Yep.
London Open, but there was not really an entry then.
Yeah, we're just consolidating at the minute. All good.
Was looking on GU for some sells also, because rejecting 4 hour again.
Oh, okay.
But at the end it didn't close how it should. So now we need to wait until we close below the support, or maybe then above the pitch 4 resistance.
Yep. Let me have a look at 15. Looks a lot cleaner below that point. Yeah, 134, 380 roughly below there. Is there options to buy it? Oh, easier to say after it, I suppose, but maybe.
No, for me not, because as I mentioned, so we are
For our resistance.
For our resistance, and then for me the M30 candle was not too strong for some buys.
Fair point. I'm just gonna remove that zone now. Ren, thank you. Yep, no problem. Emperor, please check Naz. I'm not sure what's been going on with Naz, but obviously the weekly is now forming strong bearish. Does have a high low to the previous low. Daily, it did close back bullish. Pretty strong sell-off a couple days back. Current candle has an upper wick and obviously a lower wick, so we'll see what we've got we'll see what we've got above the high and below that previous daily candle's low. Structurally, it is bullish. Our structure, I think I mentioned yesterday, is technically still bullish, still just hanging on, so still remaining above these wicks here. It's closing above it, it's tapped below it, but it continues to close above it, so therefore I'm considering it to be still technically bullish at the support now as well. So potential level price could bounce off below. It looks like there could be options to the downside as well. Now onto the 30-minute time frame. Quite a messy, so that's a massive zone. I kind of want to neaten it up a little bit. Let's go to 15. Perhaps we can draw a couple of zones here. Yep. All right. I'd have a zone there and a zone here, and I'd be looking for sells below the daily low. The daily candle is forming bearish, so the structure within it is also forming bearish. Current weekly is forming bearish. So off the back of that, my options on NAS would be really, I'll just drag it up to this point here. I'll be looking for sells upon the pullback, 21, 140, 160, 170, and look for rejection and price action catalyst. Take a sell back down. And I'd also be looking for sells upon continuation below the support formed at the current daily candles low. That point is high probability of coming back down to the previous daily low as well. So I feel that'd be a nice opportunity to perhaps get involved in some further sells. And above the resistance here, 21,174, we do have some clean traffic back up towards the current, the resistance on the at the 4 hour level, which I think was yesterday's high as well. So that is what I'd be personally looking at if I was to trade NAS, which I don't. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, gold still not really doing much. GJ bouncing, so we've still got to wait, guys. Fritz 17, morning to you. Connor, still bullish. Overall, I am, but actual bias trading wise to me is neutral at the minute. DS Nivek, good morning from South Africa. Morning to you, mate. Welcome. Good afternoon from Australia. Good evening from Australia. So how's the week been, team? Let me know. Type in the chat, let me know. Has it been profitable or a negative? Maybe D for profits and or D for drawdown, whatever. It's been a really good one off the back of, again, just one day. To be honest, Wednesday was my best day of the year. Yesterday, couldn't find really solid entry. I mean, there was one on stream which I did miss. Wasn't paying attention really to it at the time. That was a gold sell, but other than that, there's been nothing. Obviously today, nothing just yet. Yeah, just wondering, that may have been the best opportunity, but that was before the stream. So you woke up to 50 pounds just now. Well, that's a good one. Must have done something well. Andrew, good day to you, mate. Hope you're well. Into 3293 during an Asian session. Nice one. Yeah, gold is just unbelievable at the minute. Every time it gets knocked down, it flies up, usually just as fast, and ends up creating another higher high. It's just on another level. It doesn't, no matter what is happening around the world when it comes to the US dollar, despite the Dixie, or even if the Dixie is moving up, gold still has been moving up. If the Dixie is moving down, gold's been moving up. It's just doing whatever it wants to do at the minute. Obviously crypto as well, more so Bitcoin. The alts are still lagging a bit. Some of them have taken off, and of course one of the ones I wanted to get involved in a little while back, about $17, is more than double its price now. Typical. It's that boat. Stocks have come down a little bit, the equities. Yeah, a bit of fear off the back of China dumping some treasury bonds on the market, and the possibility, I think, of Japan doing likewise, which will just really sort of sink that DXY ship. So some very interesting times when it comes to what's going on around the world as far as the global economy. All right, so the 15's closed. Bit of a weak pause. Not a signal for me to buy it off the back of that. Again, we don't have any margin either way. Still at this rate, preferring the rejection for options to sell, but we'll see. GJ, let's have a look. 15, right back into consolidation. Let's quickly look at EU. EU, a nice strong closure. Let's have a look at 30. Really not in some very clean areas of traffic, to be honest. Even looking at EU, the upside is a bit difficult because you're trading into what is probably a 4-hour level, and you've missed the best part of the move. So when I look at that, I'd rather look for rejection, to be honest, than look for opportunities to potentially sell it. 4-hour resistance. Yeah, I'd be looking for, at this rate, the option for me will be upon rejection of the 4-hour level, so tapping into that level and then popping back down to support and closing below it. And at that point there's a high probability it's going to again pull back further. Was at 112.80 sort of region, so that's why I'd be looking out in EU. Buys above the resistance here look okay, 113.450 roughly. But I think you're still into a still at the 4-hour resistance though. So yeah, I just look at thinking, well, if I couldn't, or wasn't on chart, whatever reason was, if I couldn't get in buy from earlier, I'd feel like I'm kind of chasing it at the minute. I'd rather just let it reset. Either look for rejection sells or let it pop back down to support once again for give yourself a discount rate to potentially buy it. T looking to see if there's going to be a continuation. King of Hosts, thank you for sharing the live. I do appreciate it. Sylvia, good afternoon to you as well. Quite a big move, the current daily candle, isn't it? It's a really strong move to the upside. So once again, when you come to the charts and you see a candle forming like so, and you know you're trading within a wick, especially the previous daily candle or candle a few days back, you know you're likely trading into some congestion or, you know, a 4-hour level, high time frame level. So therefore, off the back of that, I would prefer just to go down to the mining time frames and look for where we could potentially pull back to look to buy it in line with the strength of that candle itself. as opposed to buying it above the high. Because look, it's a different story if we came to a chart and the candle was perhaps situated a little bit lower down, perhaps something like so, and we can see still falling strong bullish, but hasn't pushed some, you know, what is it, like 600 pips or something. So off the back of that, you could potentially look for continuation trades or buys upon the pullback, or sells as price begins to break below a support. Whereas here, you've kind of left to, because you're so close to the resistance here, you're kind of left to looking for the pullback buy if you're to buy it. And otherwise, waiting for buys above the actual 4-hour level. Or once again, rejection, closures below a level of support for some potential options to sell it. That's just logically what I think of when I come to a chart at this time of day and I see a candle like so. And especially when we've got that wick there. If that wick wasn't there, it's a different story. That wick wasn't there, for sure the options would be buy upon the pullback to a previous minor level for support, or upon continuation above the current daily high. But seeing we're trading into this wick, I know there's likely going to be levels on the 4-hour and 30, which it obviously is. So that means I'm a little bit late to the buys above upon continuation now. And the option for me to buy it will be upon the pullback. Otherwise, look for options to sell it as price rejects and potentially pulls back to give an option to buy. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. But that's just what I see, or what I think of when I see a daily candle at this time of day forming like so. Long way around check. Daniel, mate, welcome. Make sure, guys, the new YouTube channel, very interesting stream as well. Well, very interesting concept. So definitely give the man a follow. Long way around. Enjoyed some of those first episodes, mate. Some interviews. I like how you keep it real. It's real. It's raw. It's real. Good quality stuff. Better than watching any shit on TV, to be honest. So. Interesting buys from a 15-minute pause on GJ gold. Sorry, not really, to be honest, because we don't really have the margin. It's still choppy to the left. We don't have an upper wick, lower wick in the current candle. Plus that was a liquidity candle as well, up closed bearish but with a low higher high. I just don't see any quality entry on it to the upside at the minute. And I would, again, just prefer the pullback buy or the sell. I really don't see any concrete sold entries, to be honest, on to the upside in a minute. Excuse me. Yeah, pretty much just, oh, okay, nice one. Long way around, show. All good, mate. Not a problem, mate. Really enjoyed it, to be honest. Phil?
Finally,
So, oh, sorry? Was you, Franco?
Yeah, I would say that, hey, good morning. Geo is right now above the resistance, so break the resistance right now. Heavily.
What is going on here?
I don't know. So it's too much going through that resistance.
So it's a thing. So again, strength in the majors. Look at that. DXY must be going down a bit the minute.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Interesting. Gold is lagging a little bit, but that's why I mentioned before. That's why I don't feel it's the best idea anymore to. Well, I never did to begin with. Look at DXY for an indication where gold might be heading, because I don't feel you necessarily need to. But it's not always correct, because of late, the past few years, the DXY has been bullish, so has gold. Of late, gold has just done whatever it wants to do, to be honest, irrespective of the DXY. But for the most part, yes, if the DXY is bearish, gold would more than likely be going up, but it's not always the case. All right, if we get the bullish engulfing, have we got the margin? That is one thing to consider. Really needs to pop above this resistance though. Yeah, the only way I would consider a buy to the upside is if it closes above that resistance, and then I could potentially look for a buy limit on the pause play, on the interruption play, potentially. Because he cleared one level, and then likely next destination would be our resistance itself. But the minute I don't feel like it's got the legs to do it, it could, but it doesn't look like it just right now. GJ is still hovering above the support. Sylvia, yeah, London session opened 25 minutes ago. See, volume of music. I'm not sure if it's because the mic being close to speakers. It doesn't come through on the YouTube as much though. Oh, let me. Is that any better? Ninja Pro 1 hour frame is bullish. Probably is, yeah. But again, I look at it like we've missed the bulk of the move, so difficult buying it right near the 4 hour resistance. And technically, the way I see it, it's actually bearish in structure, but yes, it has created a higher high after forming support at previous support to the left. But it's closed below this swing point here, flipping the structure back bearish. And to be honest, the way I see it, it doesn't flip back bullish until back above the high. It doesn't mean I wouldn't buy it, but again, the fact of the matter is, you've missed the best part of the move. Sometimes when we come to the charts again, that's going to be the case, so we need to reassess and come up with another plan. That's what I've done. To his MagicKeys, thank you for sharing a live, appreciate it. Yeah, London session opens 8 AM. Phil, g'day mate, how's it going?
Good day. How are you guys doing?
All good mate, all good.
How has it been on the chats this morning?
Nothing. Nothing. I started streaming a little bit later, as I normally do on a Friday. And nothing. To be honest, this gold has not really moved that much from the beginning of the stream. How about yourself?
I was lucky to be up late into the night. I took one trade at the Asian session. During the Asian session.
Yep.
It's been long I've not traded that session. I got one opportunity there on EU.
EU?
Yeah. On the early time frame.
Okay.
Down. Yeah, I think you can see it. Yeah, right there.
Wow. Liquidity candle as well.
Yeah.
Nice one. Yeah, nice one. Created a little bit of structure as well from the support. Yeah. Would have been better possibly if it pulled down to a level, but pulled back above a previous support and resistance here to the left. A low, formed an equal high. Closed above, paused, and then liquidity candle.
Yeah. So I got in there, then right up to this other little support to the left. Yeah.
So
right there.
that level? Or, yeah. Nice one. Nice one. Good work. How's the week been? Carl, considering gold sells as it's retesting 30-minute support, we need the usual support to form and close below 15. Yep, if not buys above 33.41, failing that no trade. 41. Arcade up here. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'm looking at the same potential sell options if it does present. Houston sell? Not just yet, mate. Guys, I'll be back in 1 minute. I need to make another phone call. Apologies. Don't go nowhere. I'll be back shortly. Alright guys, sorry about that. Spotlight Stories, Gold doing nothing, bro. It's doing shit all, to be honest. It really is doing nothing. Hello to my entire frame, welcome. There, watch it go down. He's gonna put it on it. He's gone putting on a trade. No, I've not gone to put on a trade. H Cal, buy or sell, no, nothing. Genak, time I came to the charts today, gold already made a massive move to the upside, so there's not much I can do about chasing the buy at the minute. And I'm glad I've not tried to chase the buy, because I would not have, you know, fared quite well. Well, not have fared well at all, to be honest. So I'm just waiting to see if it rejects for a potential option to sell it at the minute. That's all I can do. Or perhaps buy it from support if it makes a clear move down. The other option is perhaps if it comes back down to this support now and rejects, pops below it, closes back above it. I can look for my price action catalyst as well to present in order to maybe buy it. Preference for that to happen would be lower down though, 33.17, 33.18, that sort of region. Ruckus B. Asian says start 12 or no idea, mate. It starts at 10 a.m. my time. I don't know where you're from, mate. If it's in the UK, no idea. Have a look at Forex Factory. Make sure you're on the right time for your zone. But for me, it starts at 10 a.m. The move comes at 11 a.m. and I'm aware of that, and I take advantage of it when I'm on the chart for it. To be honest, today I think there was quite a indifferent move. I'm not sure what went on. That was around this candle here, around these candles. Had some, not sure if there was some news or what the deal was, but that again made a big move. Obviously down, then back up. Hayden gold is in consolidation, not a good space for a trade to be caught in. Yeah, I agree. At the minute, it's really nothing you can do about it. You just need to let it decide what it wants to do. Marking up my own charts before you get on now. Looking exactly what you're doing, learning well. Nice one. It's good to hear it, mate. Yeah, that's what these streams are about, to be honest. It's education. I'm more than happy to take a trade if it presents, but I'm not going to take a trade just to please, you know, people. If there's nothing there, you know, I don't want. It's not a casino for me. I don't want to, you know, risk hard-earned cash on a stupid trade. So again, stick to the plan. But glad that some of you learn as well. The trading sound, I got the buy now. Congratulations, that's good. I hope it goes well for you. Now you're selling? Alright. Yeah, I'm not doing nothing at the minute. Betting to the reversal of LD. Mark, about 6 months you've been trading. Still in deficit, but definitely getting more consistent now. That's the thing, you're slowly probably seeing some improvements and turning a corner. That's the main thing. You get to the point where you start to become a break-even trader. So that means you're gonna have, you know, one good week, one average week, maybe a bit of drawdown, one average week and a bit of profit. But you're not gonna really be losing by the end of the month for the most part. And then you're gonna start to trust yourself a bit more. And then you're going to start to pick up on a few little things a bit more that may be not working for you and sticking to what does work for you. And then you're going to start to see maybe 3 weeks of the month being profitable. Maybe one break even, maybe one small loss. And then again, you're going to start to see results at the back of that. And your confidence is going to be up there. You're going to back yourself. You're going to trade your plan, execute flawlessly. And that's when, again, things are just going to change big time for you. And once you get to that level, it is very satisfying. I mean, it still works, so you still got to treat it that way. Respect it, not treat it like a casino. I know some will say it's bullshit, treat it like a casino. Europe, that's, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But yeah, it's a good spot to be. Trading set London. Oh, okay, London reversal. Sorry, I had no idea what you meant by that. Fair enough, if that's an edge in the market that you have picked up on. Z-Lang, love following your lows. Appreciate it, mate. Lorinja learnt patience is key in this game. Great to hear, guys. Good to hear some of his feedback. So I know some of you aren't just here expecting a trade. I've always said it in trading, have no expectations, because as soon as you do and it doesn't present, you get yourself in trouble. You feel hard done by, you'll take a trade for, you know, for the sake of it. The market owes you nothing. Mark last week was amazing for me. That 48% gave me huge confidence, but then turned to arrogance. Wow, 40%, mate. Yeah, just be careful. I know you feel like you're walking around with your chin up after that. We've all been there. But again, it could humble you just as quick. The trading style, lovely advice you give to traders in a life, brother. They are insightful for traders. Appreciate it, mate. Again, thank you guys for the kind words. Again, I do my best to try and provide some quality setups, but unfortunately I can't move the market to where I want it to move. So I just need to patiently wait. GJ, again, not interested in buying it into resistance. Four pip margin to the resistance. So again, for me, the best possible scenario for GJ would be nice clean move on that previous candle. If it now create another nice clean candle and it starts to reject. It's just looking at it logically, guys. Doesn't mean it can't burst through it, and if you're going to buy that, you know, it's not going to be a profitable one. I'm not saying that, but in accordance to my plan, it's just not worth the risk. So if it was to continue bullish, fantastic. I'd rather make a nice clean move up, cut through all this congestion, these wicks, which makes up the 4-hour range zone, sorry, then let it pull back for exhaustion upon the pullback. Let it create some high lows, high highs, that sort of thing, and then look to buy it. $2, yeah, well, nothing for me on GJ. Spotlight stories, how many dollars you put in one trade since you do. I don't have to do 2-3 trades a day, mate. That's like a rule that I won't go over about 2 or 3 a day. I just have to wait for the market to provide me an entry. I'm not going to hunt a trade and, you know, I have a rule saying I have to take 2 or 3 trades a day. I mean, how much put in? Look, I risk anywhere between 0.5% to 5% of one particular trade. Usually anywhere between 1 and 5% is the norm. Normally around that 2%, to be honest, 2 or 3%. But having said that, I'm always managing trades. So you normally see it on screen or on stream, sorry. As soon as I enter an entry, enter a trade, and let's just say that's my entry, that's my stop loss for whatever reason, maybe below that wick. As soon as I get triggered in, I'll adjust stop loss automatically. Normally it's around the entry candle low, if it's a good way to mitigate the risk I have on the table and limit that. So it's different for me because I trade fixed lots and I have a few different, you know, amounts I would place on a particular trade, depending how obviously things are going and how the week's been. How, if it's Monday, I generally go lower position. Not always, but for the most part. Friday, I always, that's a given. Friday's always a lower position. Yeah, but for the most part, it's anywhere between 1 and 5%. Jacob, strategy, just price action signals at my predetermined level is also based off a bit of a bias formulated by analyzing a few different timeframes. Generally focused on the direction of the higher time frame as well. But yeah, it's just price action. I don't use fair value gaps or imbalances or any of that stuff for indicators. I just rely on signals from price action. That's what works for me. Mark, yeah, this week I got humble. Now I'm feeling that fear turn again. Yeah, just don't feel that fear, mate. You're maybe over risking, over leverage. Leverage, over risking on each trade. So take a step back. Once again, come up with a plan. You said you've marked up your charts and starting to look a bit like mine, so it means you're probably likely waiting for a similar sort of scenario. Don't fall for anything in between. Make sure to have a proper trade management plan if and when you get involved in a trade. And there's nothing to fear, mate. Again, you're gonna have moments, and there's gonna be moments. I know I've been on a cracking run since the beginning of this year, basically. Not lost much, and when I have, luckily I've not had successive losses, not for a while. But it will come. I'm sure it will come. I'm sure I'll have that weeks at some point where I won't be able to buy a win. Every trade will end up being a break even or a loss. It happens, but you just need to continue doing what you do and what works for you. Obviously, my plan, my edge, the way I trade works for me, so I wouldn't change anything. And no, you know, over for the most part of it, by the end of the month, you're gonna end up in the blue. So again, I started this year the worst possible start you could have. I think it was 3 losses in a row to begin the year. Didn't stress it. Didn't think, oh no, I don't know how to trade anymore or anything like that. Didn't change anything. And then I won 15 in a row after that. I think it was something like that. So it happens. So what, charts are shit. Really shit. DXY tanking, trading stand. Yeah, I had a look at it before. Must be still tanking. Yeah, it is too. Yeah, I think the majors are moving ahead of gold at the minute. GU last look was pumping, still kind of is. EU still a bit of strength. AU as well, still pushing. Gold, a bit exhausted at the minute. Gold's already made a fairly significant move all throughout the day. Chris, right now I'm studying Justice course. Like a qualification. Yeah, I mean, hopefully the vision I have with it is to put you guys in the, you know, on that right foot to actually being able to execute on a solid plan, know exactly what you're looking for. And again, it's going to take time. It's not something you just go over the course once and all of a sudden expect, you know, you expect it to know it all. It's definitely going to give you a big head start. Yeah, and it kind of gives you more clear direction. See gold trying to push up. Mark, 100% mate. Thank you guys. It's open shore 7. I'm gonna buy 33.17. I'll hold. Look, I think you're in significant profit, so I have I'd be managing it right now. I'd be well, you know, trailing stop into profit. I'm do it differently. I'm a scalper, so I'm not looking for a massive move, and you've got already quite a substantial move, so secure something. Don't let it come back to your entry. So this is the level now. All right, let's see. We're popping above it. This is our potential opportunity for the stream here. It needs to close above it. And we'll see. Still got 11.5 minutes left, so still plenty of time. And if it taps into the target, that's nothing I can do about it. Not chasing just now. It's come from well below that resistance. Pretty much come from consolidation. So for me, not going to chase it. We've got a potential pause forming here as well. Well, we had the pause, but I mean a potential interruption play forming as well. That could provide a potential entry as well on a buy limit. But we just need to wait that 11 minutes, guys. Chris, I missed that comment, so been there as well. I think it's easy beginning to fall into traps after seeing results. It definitely is. Narendra, Jacob, you learn his strategy, you always win. Thank you, but not always, but I know what you mean. Thank you for the kind words. Yeah, unfortunately you can't always win, but you can be on the right side of things the majority of the time, which is definitely what you want. Carl looking for similar setup. Let's take a look. Oh, okay, so you're looking for a sell? Yeah, I'm also considering a sell, but I may be able to squeeze a quick buy as well, based off the interruption play potentially, or just the closure above the pause. Has to close above that resistance though. Yeah, I have 5 in a row. So hard to recover. 5 losses in a row. Yeah, you just gotta again stick to your plan. Don't try to chase it back. Things will change. Currently 156 pounds 28, but getting smaller by a bit. Yeah, just need to again chill, follow proper risk management. Don't over risk on any particular trade. Chris, starting to sink in. I'm just taking my time and taking minimal trades right now. It's a good way to go about it, to be honest. There's no rush, because once you acquire the skill and you can make it work for you, you have it for the rest of your life. So what's the hurry? Mark, not yet been thinking. Oh, okay, the BRP. Yeah, all good. It's open, guys. If anyone is interested, it's all there. It's in my, there's a link in my profile, on my profile page. Narendra, 45% up my portfolio. That's great. Well done. It's really good results. Carmela, wish I could get one-on-one training in person, but nothing available in Perth. One-on-one training. Well, there's one-on-one coaching, and with Zoom, you can be anywhere in the world for that, can't you? So, yeah. Do the private coaching, but I do prefer, to be honest, the group scenario. I just enjoy it. I suppose I do private coaching within a group as well, so that's something I definitely enjoy. All right, gold rejecting at the minute. Back into consolidation, so nothing just yet on the gold. But let's see, still got 7 minutes remaining, guys, so we'll see what his candle closes. Chris, if you haven't got any sort of mentor, I would recommend it, mate. So much cheaper than what other people charge for courses. Yeah, that's a really good point. To be honest, I paid again. Don't want to continue going on about, but I paid my fair share for education in this industry, and some of it good, yeah, granted, some of it was really good. But for the most part, a lot of it, at the beginning, I'm going to say the first mentor was useless. And that was really crazy expensive. My last one was more than what I pay, more than what I charge as well. Definitely learnt though, for sure. I'm not going to say I didn't, not going to lie. But I've adapted and added things which, you know, suit me and my personality in the way I trade. So there's definitely some new entries which we never ever would think of or knew of. And I go about it differently. I use the fib, we never used to use it. Yeah, many different things. Spotlight stories, no, it's coming down. I bought when it was up. Mate, sounds like you're chasing. Again, we're not here to chase, we're here to wait for the confirmation. We wait for the chart to come to us, give us our entry signal, and then we execute. And at least that way, if it's a loss, you can't be disappointed because it's just one of those ones. It's all about probabilities. You can't always win if you jump in unless you had your signal, but for me that's definitely not a signal. You know, that's when you feel a little bit, you know, disappointed. King 7 been questioning my life because of trading. Get it right in the end, promise myself. Don't give up, mate. Don't give up. You've probably come so far. Maybe you just need to tweak a few things. Could all be to do with what's up here, to be honest, the emotion side of it. Psychology. Gyro, am I selling? No, not in a minute. Camilla, I prefer in person. When in a group, I feel more comfortable with when asking questions. Yeah, that's fair enough. It's totally fair enough. I totally understand. But again, the other thing you could do is just Zoom personal or private Zoom calls. That's the only other way you go about it, really, these days. I'm not sure if I know some of my members actually are in Perth. I don't know of any mentors in Perth. I have no idea. But yeah, the only other thing is, again, through Zoom these days. YouTube, is the stream lagging? It seems to be lagging in my end. Gold is just at the minute a bit tricky. Nothing really at the minute on gold. Open Shore 7. No, it can't pick up your accent. Are you from UK? No, from Australia, mate. Sylvie, patience is good. Yep, agreed. We all learn from our mistakes. We all fail at the beginning. Yeah, look, there are a few exceptions. But yeah, for the most part, you will blow accounts. You'll have all those, you know, familiar stories that most, nearly, you know, 99% of traders have. Yep, it's true. Otherwise, you won't be aware of your mistakes. And for the most part, it's not so much the strategy; it's the psychology. For any GBpjpy, no, I'm not interested in buying it. Not in the current level. It's at a 4-hour resistance. Yeah, for me, it's a bit tricky to buy it at the minute. It's a little bit well, the bias is neutral, the way I see it. I would just prefer to sell it, seeing it's rejecting a 4-hour level here to the left. To me, a really good level to get involved would be below daily low. Got clean traffic on the mining time frame as well. It is a support formed within a daily candle. So if price was to continue bullish, there is no real need for it to pop back down, break its own low. And the confirmation I would like to see is the closure below, the retest, and then that would be an entry. Otherwise, for the buyers, again, I'd rather just let it do its thing, let it create a clean move to cut through the 4-hour level, pull back, form support, then I'll consider it. But that's way off happening. Main thing is not to do trading for money. Yep, follow your strategies. Exactly, I agree. Follow, make sure you're doing things right, and the rest will follow. Camilla, can anyone recommend mentor in Perth or Fremantle, please? Would be really appreciated. If anyone does know any, I personally don't. Whom you have you had confirmation on gold? No, not yet. Just consolidating, mate. What confirmation you may have within this, I have no idea. I don't see it. Omzi King 7, seeing himself make the same mistakes. Yeah, I bet you a bit to do with psychology, mate. Yeah, you need to journal. Really need to journal as well. Can't stress it. It's boring. I understand it's tedious and you can't be bothered, especially after a bad trade or whatever, but you're going to start to see familiar patterns. I did it religiously for a long time. I do it now again. I do it for my team. Every trade is documented in here. Every single trade. Whether it's in this my trade journal, because that's all the trades taken from the streams, whether it be on this stream or the MI call with members, or I'll call what I'm looking at in the trade ideas section, or if nothing else, I call trades that I'm looking at straight away or whatever quickly if I want to get the attention of members. But that's a lot of time in the Asian session. I'll call it here, and every trade is documented basically here. So I still do it. Then you begin to work out, you know, what works for you, and you focus on that instead. Camilla, no problem at all. Narinja got the same pain as yesterday. Yeah, ended up dumping, didn't it? No lower wick on that 15. Sylvia dropping now. Yeah, still this level, in my opinion, 33.25 is where it needs to pop low. To be honest, reading books, I don't think that's that beneficial when it comes to actual strategy. I think you're best to, you know, watch things like, I'm not saying mine's the best, but you know, I think I provide a lot of good education on the stream. But watch live streams, learn from them. If there's something you really like, think about joining a group and learning more about the way that, you know, particular group trade. And books I would more focus on for psychology in that, not so much the entries in that, because you want to see it actually happening. You know what I mean? Not just in pictures. Yeah, I mean, psychology, trading the zone's a really good one. Most people have heard of that. Carl took a very small sell on goal with no, so if it doesn't work, no problem. That's me. Nice one. Good work. Silly. Yeah, that's all right, mate. All good. Well done. Best entry zone 33.33, 33.30. Yeah, I'm waiting to see how it closes here. To be honest, I'm extending the stream usually off by now. So that I relate more to your training than A.C.T, which is what I initially start with. Hayden, nice one.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
I just need to know how to identify the right entries, then I'll be set. Yeah, it comes in time, mate. Yeah, that's the whole point of why I put the course together. And it's not just the course too, the educational videos on top of that. Yeah, and I know exactly the type of catalyst I want to look for at every particular junction of the chart. So we love watching streams. It's very educational. Thank you, mate. Omzi King. It's not just support resistance, mate. It's a lot more than that. Yeah, it's price action. I could easily trade like that without zones. Very easily. It just helps to have a bit of a visual to see where we are rejecting the wicks and things like that. But I'm not gonna lie, when I've traded by myself back in the past, when I wasn't on stream or when I was coaching in another group but wasn't actually coaching at the time, if you get what I mean, I was trained by myself. Sometimes I just look at a chart like that and figure out exactly what I wanted to do. Alright, gold bouncing back up. Nothing in a minute still. Sweetie pie, the videos, they're not long because there's each section's got like anywhere between 4 and maybe 8 to 10 videos. But I know it's just fact, the human brain can't focus for too long a length of a time. So most of the videos are short. They're all short form. Most of them are like 3 to maybe 6 minutes. I cover basically both directions for each different entry type as well, things like that. Yeah, they're all short form because it's just easier, to be honest, rather than combining it all into, you know, one big video for each section or just one big video in general. Thought about doing a webinar at some point. Probably will for my team, just like a recap. Beyond down up, yeah, that's what I was doing at the minute. Not really doing much, isn't it? Worst nightmare, you think it will call out 33.50 today, or will it pull further? Call out 33.50 for resistance, so it could, but it's pulling back in a minute. It's pretty strong level though, the 4-hour level. Yeah, again, I'm more focused on the current level that we're at. Sylvia? Nah, DXY is not strong on the moment. Maybe this candle's pulling back a bit, but nah, dollar's not strong, mate. Dollar's weak. But irrespective, I think you need to look into the DXY, to be honest, because you can just normally tell by looking at the majors. GU going up. If GU, AU, and EU all going up, you know dollar's likely going down. Gold, like I said, right now just does what it wants. So don't worry so much about DXY and gold. I don't care what people say. I think it's not even necessary to look at them at the same time. Especially as a scalper, why do you care what DXY is doing? You're focused on gold, and that's your primary focus. You've got your plan on it. Don't let DXY put you off. I've heard that time and time again, but DXY is going down, so that means gold has to go up. Yeah, for the most part it probably will, but not always. And right now it's just consolidating. All the majors are moving forward, going up, moving bullish. DXY is going down, gold's just doing nothing. So your pilot's good? Yeah, the videos, yeah. US Nightmare, this is definitely gold. Comes King, you would jumped in on sells. Yeah, I mean, if you had a catalyst to do so, I understand it. If you weren't sure why you were trying to jump into sells, then you gotta try to get out of that habit. Honestly, it will kill you. No, I mean, not physically kill you. Don't let it get that bad. But it's gonna, you know, make you anxious. It's gonna make you nervous. You've got to get the dread of FOMO out of the system. A lot of the traders come to me and join my group because I can help them with that. If they are willing to follow what my advice and the way I go about things, they will learn, they will change. But I can't, you know, flick a switch and automatically everything changes like that quickly. It just doesn't happen. You gotta be willing to commit to it. Like anything in life, same with, you know, fitness and that. Good run on GU, Bjorn. Nice one. Little scalp pullback. Okay, fair enough, mate. Hayden, yeah, the 1 minute is likely going to mess you up if you keep doing that. Your worst nightmare, been using chat GPT for a while to determine what I do. Should I keep doing this? Look, AI obviously plays a big part in lives these days, and you know, I know other guys who do check out or, you know, use the advice of chat GPT to plan trades, not necessarily to take a trade, but to give them a better understanding of what happens at certain times in the day, or what's more likely to happen, and they, you know, take advantage of that. So I think, yeah, AI definitely could play a part, but again, because I'm scalping, I don't really worry too much about all that stuff. Razvan Marion, what about 3316 buy? Yeah, that level, I've got it marked in around that level. It's nowhere near it though. Stoof DMB, welcome to you again. Your worst nightmare. So scalping is just looking for small movements in the market, whether that be, you know, even as small as a $1, $2, $3 move, which is, you know, 10, 20, 30, 40 pips, whatever, 50 pips. Get in and out of the trade quickly. Plan is to obviously secure some profits, or if it goes against you, to get out of the trade quite quickly as well. And obviously with the use of leverage, you can have the same return as holding a trade for a swing if you're practicing proper risk management and all. Because you got a tighter stop loss, you don't need to target as much. But again, some people scalp into like an intraday, into like a swing. Done it before and did it start of this month. I think it was the late last month. Called it in the group. Only didn't hold it for that long, then the runner got taken out eventually back in the entry, the very small runner. So I do sometimes try to get involved where I believe could be potential for a bigger move, a prevailing move, but I still always secure the majority of it prior to that. Alrighty team, it's not going to happen. Keep bouncing off both ends of support and resistance at the minute, so the back of that, I think I'm going to call it. And to be honest, it was a fantastic week for me, all because just that one particular day, that's all you need on the Wednesday. So all in all, good week. A pretty quiet one, but ends up very positive in the end. Once again, guys, I do appreciate all the support throughout. You guys really, you know, help motivate me to do these streams. I do enjoy it. So I do appreciate you. Make sure to follow if you've not already done so on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe if you've not done so. Guys, if you want to know any more about what I do, you can find a link on TikTok on my profile page, and YouTube, all that in the description down below. Otherwise, guys, have a great weekend. Trade safe. Don't do anything stupid. You know, hopefully you've had a good week. If not, just take it as a time to chill, reassess, come back on Monday, and we'll see where the markets are at. To my guys, just hang on, don't go anywhere. I will continue the call. And yeah, to the rest of you, take care, have a good one, have a great weekend. I'll catch you guys on Monday. Cheers, team. Bye, guys.